So we are going to start with a new unit of our new semester. Okay, vamos a empezar con nuestra nueva unidad de nuestro nuevo quimestre. We are going to start with page 22 and page 23. Vamos a empezar con la página 22 y la página 23 de nuestro libro in size 5. Okay. So we have the unit 1, culture, women in the world. Okay. Ahora vamos a hablar sobre la cultura de las mujeres del mundo. Now I need you to watch this picture and where these women are and what they are doing. What do you think? Okay, they are from India and they are breaking up bricks. Okay, ellas están en la India y están rompiendo ladrillos. Okay, eso es lo que ellas se dedican a hacer. Now we have a women in the world quiz, true or false. Okay, ahora tenemos un pequeño quiz verdadero o falso y ustedes tienen que responder lo que ustedes crean. Okay, you have to compare your answers. Okay, now. Women do 66% of the world's work. Women produce 50% of the world's food. Women earn 10% of world income. Women own 1% of the property in the world. Women make up 70% of the world's poorest people. Women make up 64% of the people in the world who are illiterate. ¿Ok? Ahora tenemos lo siguiente. Tenemos estas preguntas y tienen que contestar si son verdaderas o falsas. Now, we have some useful information. We have this information about women in the world. Ahora tenemos esta información sobre las mujeres del mundo. Valentina Tereshkova was born in Russia in 1937. She spent nearly 3 days in space in her spacecraft Vostok 6. Aung San Suu Kyi was imprisoned under house arrest by the Burmese military government for 15 years before he released in November 2010. Junko Tabei was the first woman to climb Mount Everest, but since then, more than 75 women have reached the summit on the world's highest mountain. Jennifer Murray's solo flight took a total of 99 days and covered a distance of nearly 60,000 kilometers. Srimaru Bandaranaike served 3 terms as Prime Minister of Sri Lanka from 1960 to 1965, 1970 to 1977, and 1994 to 2000. Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister of India from 1966 to 1977, and again from 1980 to 1984. She was assassinated in 1984. Margaret Thatcher was born in 1925 and studied chemistry in college. She was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for 11 years, from 1979 to 1990. Benazir Bhutto was Prime Minister of Pakistan twice, from 1988 to 1990 and 1993 to 1996. She was leader of an opposition party that was favored to win the next election when she was assassinated in 2007. Now, we are going to read the part of the book How much do you know about the position of women in the world? Do the quiz and read the 3 texts which facts are the most surprising. We have 3 parts here. We have achievements, democracy and vote, and the other page that we have in 1963, Valentina Tereshkova of Russia became the first woman astronaut. 1975, Junko Tabei of Japan became the first woman to climb Mount Everest. 1991, Burmese politician Aung San Suu Kyi won the Nobel Peace Prize for the non-violent struggle for democracy and human rights. 2000, grandmother Jennifer Murray became the first woman to fly solo around the world in a helicopter. Democracy and the vote. 1893, New Zealand became the first country in the world where women could vote. 1906, Finland became the first European country to give women the vote. 1920, women could vote in the US, but not Native American women. 1931, women got the right to vote in Spain. 1971, Switzerland gave women the vote in national elections. 2005, Kuwaiti women got the right to vote. 2010, women still could not vote in Saudi Arabia. Politics and power. 1960, Sirimavo Bandaranaike became the world's first female prime minister when she won the election in Sri Lanka. 1966, Indians elected Indira Gandhi as their first female prime minister. 1979, Margaret Thatcher became the UK's first woman prime minister. 1988, Benazir Bhutto won the election in Pakistan and became the country's first woman prime minister. 2010, of the 192 countries in the United Nations, only 70 had a female head of state. Women had only 90% of the seats in parliaments around the world. Now we are going to answer the questions after the reading. Where did the first woman in space came from? She came from Russia. Where did women first get the vote in Europe? From Finland. Where did the world's first female prime minister come from? Sri Lanka. Where couldn't women vote in 2010? Saudi Arabia. Where did women get the vote in 2005? Aung San Suu Kyi. Who won a prize for her work for human rights? Aung San Suu Kyi. Who are the owners of 99% of the world's property? Men. Who was the first woman to climb Mount Everest? Junko Tabei. Who became Pakistan's first female prime minister? Benazir Bhutto. Who couldn't vote in the US in 1920? Native American women. Now we have the vocabulary. We are going to match these words and phrases with their definitions. Illiterate, not able to read or write. Income, money that you get from working. Head of state, leader of a country. Vote, official choice you make between people or ideas in an election. Struggle, fight. Seat, place in parliament. Election, when people choose a new leader or governor. And property, land, and the buildings on it. Now you are going to do these questions as homework. Women in our country, women in Ecuador. When did women get the vote? How many female members are there in the government? Has your country had a female head of state? What are some great achievements of women from your country? Is there equal pay for women? How can the position of women be improved? Okay? Ahora vamos a hacer esas preguntas como debe. ¿Cuántas mujeres en Ecuador pudieron votar? ¿Cuántos miembros de mujeres hay en el gobierno? ¿Hemos tenido jefes de Estado mujeres? ¿Cuáles son algunos logros que ha tenido nuestro país a través de mujeres? ¿La paga es igual para mujeres? ¿Cómo la posición de la mujer puede ser mejorada en nuestro país, en Ecuador?